surveys do matter. It's interesting. They're already changing Harmonious.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know this. What are they doing for Harmonious?
So this is kind of, and we can clip this for for a segment to run on this week's channel, right? Because I think this is an interesting conversation when it comes to surveys. Surveys do matter. In the case of Harmonious, they got a lot of feedback that, okay, because they have data, they have operational data going back, to the 80s, right? When Epcot opened and first had a lagoon show, right? From what I understand, Harmonious hit at a lower level than their previous iterations of lagoon shows.
Wow.
Illuminations, reflections, reverse, all that kind of stuff. And it's really important that those surveys be high because, and we talked about it before with corporate stuff, right? But it's also the reason why you have a lagoon show or a nighttime spectacular or whatever is to get a second bite at that apple, is to get like, people staying, longer in the parks, so that way you can get more merch sales and particularly food sales and restaurant sales, right? If I'm going to be staying in the park that long, I need a dinner reservation or I need someplace to eat. And that's why you want to lengthen out your stay. You want to lengthen out people's visits to these parks via a nighttime spectacular. That's why fireworks came back as quickly as they did and so forth. Well, if nobody wants to see your show, that's an issue, right? So you have to change that, and it's unfortunate because Harmonious was so expensive. It was so expensive, and they spent so much money on it, and it was in development for so long, and those barges are just out there, and it's like nobody, we didn't get the response that we wanted. That's a heartbreaking thing. So the talk of the town is them going in the realm of Encanto and incorporating Encanto into the show, where previously it was just Coco and so forth.
Right.
They were already doing tests for new effects and water effects and fountain effects and so forth the last few days during the daytime. So, but yeah, that just tells you that Disney does care about surveys. Now, they might care about it for, other reasons than just you having a good time, right? But they do matter.
Well, yeah, and one of the big problems with Harmonious, and I'm going to digress a little bit here, but one of the big issues with one of the issues with that show is the tech involved. Like in my opinion, the magic of the Disneyland fireworks shows, or Disney Parks fireworks shows for that matter, the magic of Disneyland's Fantasmic. A big part of that magic is that the technology is really invisible.
Yes.
Like you could walk around the rivers of America all day long. You would never know that show was going to erupt a few hours later.
Right.
It's
Correct.
all hidden. And when you're watching the show, it's mostly hidden as well. It's very it's not blasting in your face,
Right.
Within reason. You can see a lamppost and things, but within reason, the tech is fairly hidden.
Yes.
Fireworks shows, there next to nothing is showing from that. It's the castle and then it happens. The problem with Harmonious is that it's the tech is like right there, it's this monstrous thing in the lagoon.
Yep.
And it's just that it becomes a distraction to the show itself because the show is not the show. The technology is where your eyes really go. The big mechanical stuff sitting there is where your eyes really go. And for me personally, it distracts from what's actually happening.
Yeah. No, exactly. Because we said it before, right? With Star Cruiser, because the Star Cruiser, when you're getting there, you see the back of Galaxy's Edge and how those rocks on popsicles and so forth before you even get into the experience that's going to take you to Batuu, right?
Right.
You're seeing the magician's trick and how it works before you actually see the trick itself.
There you go.
Right? With Harmonious, it's exactly that whole thing. You're seeing how the trick is done the whole day while you walk around this huge lagoon for 8 hours or whatever. And there's no, that the magic is kind of sucked out of it in that way because, like you said, with Fantasmic, it just kind of, it just kind of like blooms. It just kind of like, hey, it comes out of nowhere, right?
Right.
You walk around, instead of, how the magician's tricks work, you walk around this kind of faux set all day, not really thinking anything of it. And then you have this amazing lagoon show, at least in Fantasmic and Disneyland. You have this amazing show that just comes out of nowhere. It just magically appears, and that's part of the magic of it. Have you seen the 30th kind of
Oh, for Paris?
Yeah, for Paris. Have you seen that?
I have.
Okay.
Gorgeous. Do you have something for me to share? I see.
I got it right here.
Perfect.
I got it right here.
Go ahead and
see
share
if I can. See if I can. Just kind of extend the screen just for a bit. No, not audio. Just play it just real fast, and you guys can see at home what we're talking about in terms of the magic, right?
Yeah, this is Disneyland Paris.
This is Disneyland Paris.
Oh my god.
Those are drones right there. Like,
unbelievable.
That looks, I mean, it looks incredible. And they have water fountains, which I'm very jealous of, but that's okay.
But see how, like, that's a great point, Dre.
Yeah.
See how you don't see the drones. They're not sitting, it's not sitting behind the castle all day long as a giant mechanical structure.
Right.
Right. It just happens out of seemingly thin air.
Yeah.
That's the kind of magic we're talking about.
Right. That's exactly it. Just seemingly out of thin air. Didn't even expect it. Didn't even realize it. And then boom. Now I had seen them testing this, and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing!" And then to see it like up against the castle, like you do with the ads,
unbelievable.
Oh my god, like that's incredible. Like that's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. And it's so unfortunate because man, oh man, with Epcot, this is where they were gonna go. They were gonna go drone. That was going to be a big part of whatever lagoon show that they ended up putting on. And the lawyers stateside just said, no, can't do it. No. In Paris, they're not quite as litigious as a society as we are here in the States. And that's why they get that amazing drone show, right? Whereas here, they could never find a way to get over those hurdles. And, that's, sometimes just things don't work out. And I wish they would have gone that route because we've seen the alternative with the barges, right?
Right.
And it's like, man, this could have been a whole lot special. So,
and if you think about it, if it doesn't work logistically for the lawyers in Walt Disney World, where Disney World literally has endless amounts of space, there is a snowball chance in hell it's ever coming to the very populated, condensed Disneyland resort.
No way. It's the only way it does come, if it does come, is if you have it take place over an area, which is unpopulated. Right. And I thought the World Showcase Lagoon would have been perfect because, holy mackerel! I mean, you're talking swaths of just lake out there, right? Of just lagoon, and even then it was like no, because the flight path of how these drones would get into the lagoon, it went over a populated area. So that's why, it didn't work out. And it's like, it's so frustrating when you see stuff like that because you see Paris and it's like, oh, it's so cool. Can't we do it? And it's like, no, because, it's just, you gotta be a realist about the world sometimes.